Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. My name is Scott Reich, and this is Crime Talk. We have a great show for you today. First, Chad Daybell gets the ultimate sentence. Harry Truman once said, "No man can get rich in politics unless he's a crook." Is the clerk in the Murdoch case a crook or just trying to get rich? Linda Stanley, that's right, the district attorney in the Barry Morphew case, is in more trouble, and it got two killers charges dismissed. Jose Ibarra, the man accused of killing Laken Riley, says not guilty, prove I did it. And then finally, our dumb criminal of the day. Well, let's talk about it.
All right, lawyer.
Good day, everyone. My name is Scott Reich, and this is Crime Talk. Thanks for joining us. You know the drill. Subscribe if you haven't, like if you do, leave me a comment below, and make sure you hit that little bell for notifications of when we go live or put up new content. Now, you can also listen to us on any of your favorite podcasting apps. And now here's the other thing. I want to say a big shout out, thank you to everyone that I saw at CrimeCon. For those who emailed me that said, "Hey, I'm here and we didn't connect, I'm sorry, but let's do it again for sure next year," because that's where CrimeCon is going to be. And obviously, Crime Talk will have to do something big. If it's not with them, it'll be our own. But all the Crime Talk aficionados will be invited. That's for sure. All right. A couple other housekeeping matters. Obviously, we're not in the studio today. We went from CrimeCon to a appearance that I had to do here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I am on the second level here at Terminal A, doing this show as I wait for my flight. Yes, commercial flight. The worst ever. But I get it. Sacrifices must be made. Anyway, Crime Talk 1, we should have some good news on that shortly. All right, the Karen Reed trial. Could this thing first get any more bizarre? And second, can it take any longer? Maybe we'll have a full week of trial in the Karen Reed case. Anyway, check it out. We're live streaming it, and I'm going to try to join in when I get done with this podcast as well. All right, let's go ahead and get to the docket. So the news came down Saturday morning about the Chad Daybell death penalty sentence. I was at CrimeCon. It was kind of a big deal. Yes. The jury deliberated later into the evening. I think it was about 8 p.m. when they called it a night and said they were going to go home. I think what they did was they said, "Hey, we've come to a conclusion. There are no mitigating factors, only aggravating factors as it relates to Chad Daybell's involvement in the death of J.J. Tylee and Tammy Daybell." But they wanted to sleep on it. And then they came back the following morning and said, "We have reached a verdict." He was sentenced to death for all three of their deaths. I say rightfully so. Why should you get a volume discount for a crime? What a bunch of weird, twisted stuff. And it always seems to amaze me that people somehow think and rationalize in their mind that I can get away with this. Well, Chad, you didn't. And Lori Vallow, well, she squeaked off with 3 life sentences. She should have got death as well for the death of J.J. Tylee and Tammy Daybell. But because the prosecution did not turn over evidence in a timely manner, the judge threw the death penalty out. I'm not sure that was justice, but sometimes that's what happens when you don't play by the rules. Anyway, that case is over. Hats off to the prosecution. Hats off, condolences to all the victims, the Daybell family, obviously the ones that don't believe that Chad was innocent, and obviously to Larry and Kay Woodcock, who I still believe would not, but for them, this case probably would not have come about, at least not in the aggressiveness that finally took place after they got involved and said, "Where is my grandson?" And then obviously Tylee as well. So hats off to them. Good result there. It was the case that everybody thought it would be. It was basically Lori Vallow 2.0, and obviously with the death sentence. The defense tried to run the defense that Lori Vallow, Alex Cox did this. I was just poor innocent little old me. Well, the jury didn't buy it, and now he gets death. All right, next on the docket, just like I said, Harry Truman once said that no man gets rich in politics except when they are a crook. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I don't care what political party. If you go into public service, that is your job. If you want to go do podcasts and make money, if you want to write books, then you quit your job in public service or you wait until you're done with your job for public service. But you don't do the two things at the same time. You don't have two masters at that point. It just simply doesn't work. And well, remember Becky Hill? She's the Colleton County clerk, for the Alec Murdaugh double murder trial. Well, she is scheduled to appear before a state ethics commission over allegations that she used her position for financial gain. Now, the hearing is not scheduled till December 19th at the State Ethics Commission's hearing room in Columbia, South Carolina. Now, Ms. Hill is facing 76 alleged counts of misconduct, all of which are connected to improperly seeking financial gain. Now, of the 76 counts against Ms. Hill, 72 of those allegations allege she used her official position for financial gain. 2 allege she used her official position for financial gain for a business she was associated with. And 2 alleged she used or disclosed confidential information for financial gain. Wow. Doesn't seem like you're really looking out for the interests of the people there, does it? Now, obviously, we'll give her the presumption of innocence, even though it's an administrative, civil proceeding here. But it just shows you, no matter how nice and grandma-ish Ms. Hill looked, she was still trying to get the money. It's always about the money. No problem with trying to get the money. Just don't do it while you're in public office. Well, because then you're corrupt. And I don't care what party you belong to. So the complaint alleges that Ms. Hill used her political position and authority to obtain confidential information and digital images of the Murdaugh case and others during the trial. It says that she was responsible for releasing unredacted body camera footage that appeared on the Netflix documentary about the Murdaugh case and acknowledged online that she had a book deal detailing interactions with those involved in the trial. As you may recall, this was the whole thing that the Murdaughs said, we need a new trial. She tainted these people. She was doing unethical conduct. And if she's looking for the right verdict for her book, what can you reasonably conclude from that? Now, the court poo-pooed it because there's a lot of other overwhelming evidence in the case. I think it'll probably come back on 404B evidence, but that's just me. Or they'll just use the SOB rule that he's an SOB, and there's no way we're going to reverse this. Although there was error, it was harmless. Anyway, it's also alleged that Ms. Hill and her staff abandoned their duties to interact with visitors for several hours and allowed the courthouse to be used for commerce. The complaint cites Facebook post from Wicked Hampton County author Michael DeWitt, in which he offers readers the opportunity to meet Ms. Hill and her staff while he autographs and sells his books at the Colleton County Courthouse. He is also accused of promoting her own book during these events. Now, the complaint further alleged that Ms. Hill allowed her staff members to leave work before official closing hours to allow Netflix employees to set up equipment in the courthouse to film footage for the documentary. So this is the good one. During the Murdaugh trial, Ms. Hill is alleged to have unethically and unlawfully used her political office to obtain and release confidential information. She used her office and misallocated funds to promote her book and neglected the office of the clerk to take several trips to promote her book and to meet with Netflix to secure her position in the upcoming series. Hill's actions have displayed she is unfit to hold office as the clerk of the court, and other allegations that Ms. Hill requested checks to be made payable to a county employee and a former employee for filing. Exhibits from the Murdaugh trial, including the original exhibit list, went missing. Hill may have accepted gifts from the media. The media held a party to honor her, and she was involved in another party for the media for a wildlife center. Employees not involved in child support files or collection received bonuses from the Department of Social Services, child support incentive funds. Furniture and office supplies were improperly purchased using funds. Ms. Hill used her position for financial gain by disclosing information that she would only know as clerk in her book. And Hill asked another employee to cash a reimbursement check for bailiff uniforms to pay an artist responsible for a painting in the office and to put it in petty cash. And Hayes refused and didn't know what happened to the check. Ms. Hill disrupted employees and caused a security nightmare by giving Netflix full access to the courthouse, in addition to allowing Netflix to film her over 4 hours in her office. Now, Hill allowed a movie about a boxer to be filmed in the courthouse over a weekend and paid security people with courthouse funds. Hill also allowed a photograph of an inmate in a holding cell to be taken from a security camera monitor and broadcast on social media. Now, it's also alleged that Ms. Hill gave false information to the county finance department regarding the percentage of time each employee worked in the child support enforcement cases. So I don't know what's going to happen to Ms. Hill. Maybe she'll resign, do the honorable thing, but I doubt it. She'll justify it. They always do. And the reality of it is that she should not have done any of that. Her job was to make sure that trial got done effectively and without any issues. But as we know, that's not exactly what happened now, is it? She is the center of a lot of the issues. Next on the docket, Linda Stanley. This woman cannot keep her mouth shut. And the reason why I thought this was interesting is, well, I saw Mike King at the CrimeCon. He was actually giving a presentation about his book. And it came up regarding Miss Stanley because he may be a witness in the ethics complaint against her because Miss Stanley was going on various broadcasts and besmirching Barry Morphew. Whether you like Barry Morphew or not, he is given the presumption of innocence, and the elected district attorney should not be there besmirching him before he has had his day in court. And we all know how the Barry Morphew case turned out. It was a complete mess. Well, Linda Stanley, the same district attorney in the Barry Morphew case, has created another mess. So what happened was there was charges against a kid by the name of William Jacobs. And he was accused of shaking a 10-month-old baby by the name of Edward Hayes to death at a Motel 6 in Canyon City, Colorado, where the mother of the child and Mr. Jacobs were residing. Now, police say that he was looking after the baby while the baby's 21-year-old mother, Brooke Crawford, was at work and had previously admitted to abusing the child. Well, 1 year after Hayes' death, the charges against Jacobs have been dismissed by a judge because the 11th district attorney, that's right, Linda Stanley, made statements during an interview that were reported in the newspaper as well. She says, quote, "I'm going to be blunt here. He has zero investment in this child, zero. He's watching that baby so he can get laid. That's it. And a place to sleep." Now, of course, Miss Stanley says, well, I thought this conversation was off the record. Well, apparently it wasn't. Why then did the court dismiss the case? Outrageous government conduct. When the elected district attorney is commenting on your case like that in a very small community, well, it's a little prejudicial. Now, the district attorney's office has appealed this to the Court of Appeals here in the state of Colorado. No decision as of yet. But is it something that the court abused its discretion on? If they made the record appropriately, probably not. Let's face it, Linda Stanley doesn't have too many fans right now. The courts don't like her down there. Even her own office, there's been some word that people don't like working for her. She's having a difficult time keeping district attorneys down there. And she's got her own ethics complaints that, well, she may not be a lawyer if that comes back poorly for her. But once again, obviously hasn't been found responsible or guilty of any of those things, so you got to give her the presumption of innocence. You would just hope that she would keep her mouth shut. All right. Remember Jose Ibarra? That's right. He was arrested back in February of this year for the murder of 22-year-old Laken Riley. Remember, she was the nursing student down the University of Georgia campus that was out on a run. Well, an indictment was handed down charging Ibarra with 10 charges: malice murder, 3 counts of felony murder, kidnapping of bodily injury, aggravated assault with intent to rape, aggravated battery, obstruction or hindering a person making an emergency telephone call, tampering with evidence, and being a peeping Tom. So at the arraignment, did Mr. Ibarra say guilty? No, he did not. He said not guilty. What does a not guilty mean? It says, I didn't do it, prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, could there still be a plea bargain down the road? Probably. But look at that guy's face as he sits there having the charges read to him. Does that look like a man that's going to accept responsibility? You let me know in the comments. And then finally today, our dumb criminal of the day. Take a look at this woman right here. Yep, take a look at her. She was arrested for drunk driving after driving to the police station when she maybe had a few adult beverages. All right. So the officers say that they responded to the police department in response to assist a 68-year-old woman, Theodora Godfrey, in an unrelated matter about 11:57 p.m. last Monday night, according to the arrest forms. During the interview with Miss Godfrey, the police noticed that there was an unknown alcohol odor coming from her person and breath, and her speech appeared to be slurred. Obviously, this caused the police to inquire further, and they asked if she had been drinking. She admitted that she drank 2 cans of Busch Light and a vodka. And then she stated that she drove her 2002 Cadillac beige four-door sedan to the police department, also knowing that her license was suspended. Well, needless to say, Miss Godfrey agreed to leave her vehicle parked at the police station due to her being under the influence of alcohol and not having that valid driver's license. However, before walking away, she was advised that she had to lock her vehicle. So instead, she appeared to unlock her vehicle and sit in the driver's seat with the keys in her person. She locked the vehicle and began to walk away shortly after that, according to the police. Well, guess what? Once you sit behind the wheel with your keys in your possession, even if you don't turn that key, it's capable of starting and driving away at any time. You have just committed a DUI. Yes, Miss Godfrey, unsteady on her feet, could not follow instructions. She was arrested. Her BAC was a .122. Ladies and gentlemen, needless to say, Miss Godfrey was charged with DUI, and she posted a $500 bond. Miss Godfrey, don't go to the police station drunk. Please don't drive there drunk. And please don't get in the car with your keys in your hand, behind the wheel, drunk. That is a DUI. Most people don't know that, but that is the case. It just has to be capable of moving. All right, that's all we have for you today from the Terminal A at the Charlotte, North Carolina airport. Hope you enjoyed the show. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow on Crime Talk. And remember, yes, the Constitution matters.